Hello and welcome everybody to the Front Nine coverage of Round 1 of the 2021 Stafford Open presented by Innova Champion Discs. I'm Brian Earhart, joined here by my fellow lefty co-host Nathan Queen. Nathan, how you doing today?
Doing well. Happy to be here at the last Silver Series of the year on the Disc Golf Pro Tour at Stafford Woods, a very fun wooded course. This is my first time out here.
Yeah, beautiful wooded golf. Kind of par for the course out in New England. A lot of gorgeous technical golf out here. And speaking of which, we have quite the technical card. We have both players, Michael Johansen and Andrew Fish, both players that very specifically deny playing any open golf. So when you see both of them at a tournament like this, you know the course is serious and in the woods. We also have Chris Villa on the card, local to this area. And yeah, we move into hole number 1. What do you think?
309 feet. It's a tough, tight wooded hole to start the day. You know, it's your first throw of the day. You kind of have two gaps, one on the left and one on the right later in the flight. And if you can hit one of those, you'll get up in the circle for a putt.
First up on the tee pad is our reigning champion from the 2020 event, Michael Johansen.
And MJ's been playing a little bit more Masters this year, but again, at a track like this, he can keep up with absolutely anybody.
He's absolutely used to shots like this.
Look at that.
North Carolina.
He started that in like 45 degrees of hyzer and got it to stand up to almost turn.
Most definitely one of his comments.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And he throws a lot of really cool stuff from the Discraft lineup. And Matt Bell, I know I had mentioned that Andrew Fish and Michael Johansen were great woods players, but Matt Bell has won this tournament before, I believe, and has won a few tournaments in the New England area.
Yeah, he's I believe he's taken down Delaware as well.
Yeah, he's won his first NT was out in Delaware.
Yeah.
He's won quite a bit out here.
He likes these wooded courses. Knows how to manufacture his way down the fairway.
That is.
And this has turned up just a bit too much down that right gap, but we know he likes to make those long putts as well.
Third up, we have Stafford Open champion from 2018, Andrew Fish.
Andrew has one of the more dry senses of humor that I've ever met.
Very funny guy.
Hilarious and very intelligent.
But if you're not paying attention, you won't know it.
Also a phenomenal woods player.
Yeah, he's got the ultimate background, and he has transferred it to his disc golf form very well. He throws such great hyzer stand-up shots. It's something that I taught myself early on, and Andrew Fish is one of my favorite players to watch throw the righty hyzer stand-up shot. So I'm super excited to watch him this whole round.
Yeah, and you have Chris Villa, West Side player. Very solid, no slouch.
Yeah, recently taking third at Masters Worlds, being on the lead card with Michael Johansen most of the time. So he's got used to the cameras a little bit while he was out there. Excited to watch him play too. I haven't really seen him play before.
And super compact, smooth form. And he's going to be running the edge of Circle 1 as well. This is a very touchy first opening hole.
And almost drawing metal from about 70 feet through the woods there. And I kind of knew that wasn't going to go in because he wasn't picking as many up yet. But still,
he was a little iffy on it.
Yeah, still a good run from MJ. Not quite able to connect there. Again, once, this is a pretty tough hole, so if you leave yourself a long putt, you're already wishing you were in the circle.
Yeah, it looks like one of those holes where there's a lot of trees blocking your route to getting into Circle 1, so it feels like a lot of the looks here are from late Circle 1 or early Circle 2. And a solid straddle putt from Fish.
Yeah, 1 under to start, and this hole actually playing slightly over par, so he's taking a good start on the round. Just a few cleanups for par here.
Okay. Oh my, bold.
I can't tell what's on the top of that disc, but it almost looked like a pizza. It felt like he was flipping that pizza in there.
Wow, that was like a 10-footer. That was
Yeah.
impressive. What do you think about hole number 2, Nathan?
Going into hole 2, 509 feet. You want to throw a shot. This is kind of the gap right here that you have to hit to get into a decent landing zone to attack the green. Pretty short hole, so as long as you get that 220 feet or so off of the tee, you'll be able to have a chance, but it's a very tight, strange angle to get through that gap.
Yeah, it seems like the hole is kind of begging you to throw a touch shot off the tee. But Fish is going roller.
Oh, and he catches that last log. That could have given him a putt for 2.
If it hits on that cut angle and gives him a little bit of space to, cut out to the left, fade back right. MJ, he's just going with a clean turnover. Actually, that's fading out a little bit.
Yeah, he needed to put a little more on that. Very favorable tree kick. He'll be in a great spot
Yeah.
to throw another turnover shot into the green now. Matt looking like he's playing aggressive here as well. Oh, and just a bit left. He hits that tree you need to be right or left of and gets a very fast kick into the woods. Short hole, so he should be able to scramble from there. We'll see what he has. Not a pizza.
It's not a pizza, but I still don't quite know what's on top of that disc that he just threw a basketball shot with. And now he's throwing it off the tee. Ooh, it's got a nice flip to it.
Oh, yeah, he hits the gap perfectly, and he's going to have an easy pitch up.
Let's take a jump back to Chris Villa's form from the front side. Very compact. I really like his style. You can tell he probably plays in the woods quite a bit.
Yeah, not like compact like you were saying. He doesn't reach back very far and then just snaps it through.
Yeah, that was a beautiful throw.
We got Matt Bell looking up.
Oh, does not look great. And it looked like he was maybe almost on another fairway.
Yeah, he was close to another fairway.
And he's in circle 2.
Gets a lot of speed on that forehand. And he'll have another tricky look through the woods.
And clipping one of those guardian trees.
Yeah, that was going to be good. If it hadn't hit that, he was going to be pretty close. Probably inside the circle, maybe inside of 20 feet.
And MJ going with the sidearm. He actually has an underrated sidearm.
Yeah, he's been, until about 2 years ago, you could say MJ doesn't throw sidearms. But the last couple years,
Yeah, look at that.
he's thrown so many touch shots that he's starting to get the distance with it as well, and really comfortably.
That was a sick forehand.
Yeah, really just parks it.
Yeah. Patent pending turnover for Chris.
Gets the nose over a little bit, but gets good ground play and still slides towards the basket. He'll have a birdie putt.
Almost cashing it in from 70. And let's see what Matt has here. He's going to a knee. Ooh, little spin putt. Doesn't quite capitalize.
Yeah, low ceiling giving him a little bit too much trouble there.
But again, a par from there is really not too shabby. Yeah, 4.05 on this 500-foot par 4. technical in every sense of the
A
word.
little lazy on that putt there, but he was able to squeak it in. Yeah, surprising to hear this one's over par.
It just
But-
seems like one of those holes where you're just not in a good spot if
Yeah.
you're a few feet off.
Left or right can definitely make you struggle down the fairway. That moves us into hole 3, a little bit easier par 3 than hole 1 was. You do have a slight gap to hit here before you have a water carry. Pretty easy to make it over the water. It's probably only about 240 or so to clear when you get to this elevated basket. So good stock kind of righty, mid-range shot, even a putter.
This looks like MJ is going with his 2019 Tour Series Comet and a beautiful shot inside circle 1. Always love jumping back, watching MJ throw the hyzer flip. His throw at this point is just so upper body oriented. It's so intuitive. His footwork is still perfect, but you see how he almost doesn't extend at all at this point. He's throwing discs that are just easy to throw.
Yeah, Comet, an understable disc, and he kept it on a hyzer the whole time, just how he wanted to.
He's so good at telling his body, oh, throw this, 55%, and he'll be able to do that pretty competently.
And a little inside, catches that second tree. He's just outside of circle 2 there, so he could run it if he wants to. It is an elevated basket, though.
And Fish going with a putter. I believe that was an FLX Challenger. An older run of the disc. Kind of pulls it a bit wide.
That's a pretty disc he's about to throw.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and that could be OB, but it looks like he...
I think he's going to be safe. We did not get the out-of-bounds marker. We'll have to take a look. And Fish putting it to about 20 long. Yeah, Matt is safe.
A great touch forehand up and over. Doesn't look like he was able to see the basket from there, so good to dial that in. See if he decides to give this a run. It looks like
Oh, he
he's trying
does.
to make it. Not a bad play.
No. Easy par.
Fish with the dead center putt after missing the gap off of the tee. This definitely is not one you want to bogey. The par already doesn't feel too great.
Yeah. And then you have MJ still, we're waiting to get to his putt. And like you said, he threw that Comet, which is not an overstable disc, but getting that disc to fade left allows you to hit the ground so much softer. Instead of getting that crazy flare skip off to the left, he was able to put it straight to the pin. Great birdie from MJ.
A little closer this time, but also threw it a little harder.
What is his range? Is he going to just throw a 30-footer with this? I don't know.
Seems like he's pretty comfortable with it. Moving into hole 4, 558 feet. It plays about 290 to this tall grass you see on the right here, which is a good aiming point. You can flare off to the left a little bit, but the grass is a little sticky. Once you get there, you have about 275, pretty much the same shot into the green. So not very far, but 2 controlled shots and you'll have an easy birdie. He's pulled this a little wide. And he's got a decent angle from there. He'll just have to deal with that tall grass, which is not OB on this hole.
Also wide from Villa. Same tree.
And a pinched angle, he won't be able to see the basket. However, it is a decent, since it is a shorter hole, he is definitely close enough to reach the green. And an overcorrection from the first two fish here. And seeming like that one just slipped on out. It was raining earlier on in the day. I believe it stopped by the time that this card teed off. So it could still be a little wet, a little sticky out there. And looks like a good correction from the others on Matt Bell here.
And we're going to jump back to another form check on Matt. I like showcasing all the players on this card. Matt has very unique form. He kind of scoops the disc upwards. Matt's another player that throws a lot of just traditional Frisbee as well and has a really intuitive play style.
Yeah, it looks like he dips down, but then the way that he gets his body down as well, he still has that flat release.
Andrew gets up there, still a little bit away from the basket.
This is probably about 340.
Oh, and he was about 2 feet from getting the flare skip that he was looking for. Okay, MJ Thummer.
He might be a little more pinched off in the angle than I thought he was. He's gotten over there pretty far. And he's off to the right side, but he gets some good distance on it. Yeah. I'm not sure I've seen MJ throw many.
Are we going to see a grenade from him today?
I guess he's figured out the forehand, so now he's working on some other throws. And Matt Bell in a great position.
And puts himself to birdie range, 15 feet. Fish, this is going to be throw-in distance. This is going to be about 80 feet, 90 feet. No way.
Oh, gave it a good chance.
Okay, MJ from edge of circle 2 as well.
Oh, and drains it. Let's get that Gatekeeper rewind.
I love the way he floats these Ringer GTs, which are pretty overstable putters. He floats them on a nose-up anhyzer. They fall into the basket so nicely. One of the truest spin putters on tour, completely in-to-out release.
Incredible birdie there from MJ. Gets a kick off to the right, throws a thumber, and then hits a 55,
Showcasing
60
the skills.
footer.
He's still learning.
Matt Bell showing you the more direct way to the hole. Gets a nice 3.
Yeah, this is actually one of the scrappiest cards that I've gotten to commentate on in a long time. Definitely looking forward to the rest of the holes out here in round 1.
Yeah, all these guys seem to be really good at scrambling.
Awesome putters, awesome scramblers, awesome hyzer flip throwers moving into number 5.
The Destroyer is essential on tour. One of the most versatile distance drivers in Innova's lineup. The new Halo plastic is probably the prettiest plastic that Innova has in their lineup. It makes for a really cool disc to bag. Very confident in throwing the Destroyer and keeping it in bounds at far ranges.
Going into hole 5, a little bit more what we're used to seeing on the DGPT. We have the OB line fairways. Not quite as long though, only 611 feet. 380 or 400 plays pretty easy off of the tee, and then you've got a small gap to hit into the green, but nothing too crazy.
Yeah, this first shot, you really just need to put it in bounds.
Yeah, and after you've been in the woods, it kind of looks funny when you walk out here in the open, so it can make you feel a little nervous just because you haven't seen these stakes. You've been looking at trees. But other than that, a pretty stock 611 straight par 4.
And Matt going with a flick. That's got to sit down. And he puts his right by MJ's.
Yeah, and these guys not pushing far down the fairway. That's probably only 340 or 350, I would say. Chris looks like he's going for a little bit more distance. This grass is pretty grabby, so this should still sit down, even though it looks like it would skip since it is sloped down right to left as well.
And you wonder, who would go for this hole? I feel like if there was an Elite Series event, all the top, distance throwers were out here. You wonder who would try to bite off the distance.
No, you're good. Nice shot.
And Fish throws a beautiful shot in bounds. Let's take a look finally at Andrew Fish's form. Another very intuitive throwing style, that kind of swooping motion.
Reaching back with both of his hands, just
Yeah.
feeling more comfortable that way.
But the thing that's all the same is the timing. The timing with the upper body and the lower body from all of these very intuitive control players and then some of the bigger power players is the disc always gets loaded forward with that back foot. It's just like walking, opposite hand, opposite foot. And that's what they all have in common. And MJ again, another forehand, puts him into a birdie position.
Yeah, in circle 2 there. I'm not sure if he caught a tree that slowed him down a little bit or just not quite enough distance on it. Matt Bell with the second forehand going for the wide gap. This needs to come back a little quick. It's heading towards the woods.
Yeah, that's going to be deep out of bounds for Matt. He is going to be pin high, I believe, that OB kind of cuts out.
He might find a family doe back there. I saw about 4 or 5 in the woods while I was playing this hole.
It's a little alarming that you were back in those woods, but
I just saw them.
yeah. Chris has put his inside circle 1.
Yeah, great backhand shot there through the gap. Fish trying to do the same, sneaks underneath it, and he'll be just inside circle 1 there.
Okay, so this is a 60-footer for Matt to save par. And he's going to lay it up under the basket.
I hope his hand's all right. He's looking at his hand after it landed on the ground.
I'm wondering if he was just trying to run the putt and he was,
What did you do?
yeah, upset that his body betrayed him.
And MJ.
Oh, no. MJ is 4 down. 4 birdies in a row. He is on fire right now, folks.
2 circle 2 gatekeeper rewinds in a row.
Here's something that I think is interesting. His approach shots have been forehand, thumber, forehand. That is, the man is evolving.
Yeah.
And Fish with the good birdie there, seeing the disc almost creep out the backside.
Yeah, we're playing on the Disc Golf Park Baskets by Discmania, I believe.
Yeah, they came out with a new one this year, and I've played on them a couple times.
And Villa has tapped in a birdie as well. He's going to be 2 down through 5. But everyone's going to be trailing MJ right now, who's feeling pretty good.
Yeah, 4 through 5 is a great start. Hole 6 is probably one of the harder par 4s we're about to move into here. And Matt going to be disappointed with that bogey. That's a hole you really feel like you should birdie, but the OB can come into play pretty quickly. Here we are, hole 6, 781 feet, OB all down the right side, but you would prefer to land closer to the OB than on the left side where you have this low ceiling that makes it very hard to approach this elevated, beautiful wedding cake tier green here that also has OB surrounding it. So, great par 4 here.
Yeah, they've done some serious work to this hole. As MJ pushes his a little inside. It used to be a lot shorter of a par 4 than it is now, and T-pad's been pushed back. And it's created quite the challenge for these players. This is playing a 4.46.
Yeah, probably not a lot of birdies.
And that is perfect from Chris.
Yeah, that's a good shot from Villa. He should, to really reach the green and attack it, you probably want to be 50 to 60 feet further down the fairway, but great placement there. He'll probably be throwing up to the gap.
And Fish, you see him closing his eyes to visualize his line. And oh no, he's skied that one.
Gonna be over there close to MJ. Oh, and gets a big flare too.
He's going to have to just throw a big sidearm out into the field. He might have room for a backhand, but I don't know if birdie's in play here.
Yeah, so far I'm not sure it is for any of the three. We'll see if Matt can get a good shot down there.
Yeah, this almost seems favorable more to the lefty here than it does for the righty, getting the flip up distance shot out there.
Yeah, if you can turn one over and have it fade back just a little bit, it's a little scary to push that OB line, but it is more ideal to place it there for a left-handed backhand. And MJ moving it down the fairway. Chris is probably 450 from here. And he has piped it through the gap, and he has given himself a just outside of the circle putt. What a great throw.
He's going to have this beautiful putt on, like you said, the wedding cake green. It is gorgeous. So Matt trying to flip one up inside.
It looked like he caught some of that low ceiling over on the left side.
And I kind of like the play that Chris played on his second, because he said, you know, the gaps on the right are tighter, but I can just roll the dice and not challenge the low ceiling. And Fish is going forehand roller.
Oh, this looks fantastic.
Come on.
Oh, nice shot, Fish.
And he's inside circle too.
And yeah, they've given themselves some putts. There's some scary ones to run. That OB is probably 40 feet behind the basket at the closest point. It does get a little further away depending on where you're at. But scary putt to run uphill when it drops off pretty quickly behind it.
Matt needs to get up and down here for par. Oh, and he sticks it on the second tier.
That's great. It's so hard to land on this green. If you go too fast, you can hit it and roll right back off. And Fish has probably stayed in bounds there, but he will have most likely 25 feet or so to come back.
And
this needs to sit.
Yeah, that came in on a pretty steep hyzer. No OB marker, but he might have gotten a roll. Hopefully he sat down behind the basket. This is for par for MJ, and he almost pops out the front of the basket, but he snags a solid par.
And
take a look. Oh, wow. Off the front, off the chains, off the front again.
I don't know if he even saw that. He knew he made it when he let go. Great par save, though. A par for Matt as well.
Yeah, this one playing the second hardest on the course at a 4.46.
Chris staying pretty close, and I guess Fish stayed close as well. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, good pars for the card there.
Yeah, not too shabby whatsoever on this tough hole. Number 7, straight ahead. Water carry here, 300 feet. Basket is perched ever so slightly on this hill with this wall in front of it. And that is the trick here, is if you try to slide one up to the basket, it does not work.
Yeah, you have to get it high enough to miss that wall. Any shot that goes in the water does go to a drop zone. You don't get your par putt if you go OB.
So MJ is safe, and he was trying to land one nice and soft on that hill with that Comet. That looks a little overturned and low. Hopefully it sits down. Oh, and it does, and it gets over the wall.
It just squeaks over that wall. Probably hit the wood on the way by, but parks it. Great shot.
You know, I thought it was overturned, but it was flattening. It looked like it came out of his hand with some sharper anhyzer than I thought.
Yeah, pretty stable disc, I think. Flattened back out for him.
And Fish throwing a nice, gentle turnover. Look at this shot.
Oh, what incredible touch. Does a little board slide to get further past the basket than it should have been, but great touch there from Fish.
And you have Matt going with the sidearm.
Yeah, if you throw it just a little higher, you can get it to spike kind of in those wood chips by the basket. That might be the play that he's going for here.
It's a good-looking shot.
And he hit the wood up front, but does stay in bounds. And just splashing out on the right side there.
So we're going to do a throwback here. Fish has had this putt numerous times. This is 2018. And just misses the putt. He had the exact same putt in 2020. You see a nice long-haired fish now. And this is, yeah, apparently this is just where he likes to land.
Yeah, making sure that he misses the wall really can put you long like that.
And here he is stepping up the third time to this exact same lie.
The sideways backwards hatfish.
Yeah, this guy means business. Cashes it.
Slam.
Learning from his mistakes. And that puts him to 3 down. And MJ is putting really solid right now.
Yeah, MJ matching the birdie, making sure he keeps the lead. Well, he would have still had the lead even if he missed it, but
he is still setting the pace for the card. But and it's what's crazy is Fish is at 3 down, and it looks like he's just not crisp with his tee shots right now, but he's been capitalizing when he has had a crisp tee shot. Hole number 8, this is a tricky little par 4, Nathan.
yeah, 467 feet. You've got to throw really straight up until here, where you've got about not quite 90 degrees of turn, but very sharp, and then it continues to go around to the left. This is one of the baskets that they have pushed back further than it's been in previous years. If you want to get aggressive, you can go stable driver and get a big flare around.
That's pretty much perfect, I would say.
It's a good spot. That's the landing zone, but you do have kind of a funny angle into the green with those last trees still in the middle of the fairway, still kind of being in the line.
It seems like you kind of want to hit that landing zone with skip. That's
Yeah,
kind of the
if
goal.
you can land there and slide or skip forward about 40 more feet, then you'll be a pretty straight look at the basket, and it'll feel pretty easy.
Just like that.
Yeah, like that.
Great shot from Chris.
That last tree that he just got around kind of makes it where the gap that you have to the basket is fairly easy to hit.
Good stop there.
Yeah, it's very humid out here in New Jersey right now. Like I said, it was raining earlier in the round. So grip issues, whether it's slipping out or sticking, are definitely an issue today.
Ooh, nice subtle hyzer out of the hand from Matt, and just hits one of those skinny trees in the fairway.
Yeah, that was a pretty rude tree. That was a good shot from Matt.
And Fish has tried pitching out with kind of an aggressive forehand, clips something. He's going to have a tough look at the basket for a par.
And you need lots of right to left movement here. So Matt going with the forehand, trying to drift it over, but catches some leaves up there, but he'll have a straight look down the gap now.
Look at this. Oh no, and it was looking so good. And you see how many little skinny trees there are in this fairway. You need to be in a good position off the tee shot.
Oh, and MJ squeaking an inside gap, able to throw a hyzer stand up. Just an incredible shot there.
That's the purple banger for you.
And here's that straight line we were talking about. Chris trying to throw it in a little bit. He'll have a easy birdie.
You gotta love it. You gotta love knowing that Matt is very disappointed when he has to lay up. Kind of a rough stretch on this hole for Fish.
MJ keeping fire here, 6 through 8. That's how you want to do it out here.
Yeah.
There's lots of birdies to get. If you're throwing well, they should be fairly easy to get. Hit your fairways, and you're going to have your birdie chances.
Exactly. Yeah, when you're off the fairway, that's when all those really tough placed skinny trees come into play, and you have to try to avoid them through these really tight gaps.
And Matt going with the forehand putt there, just kind of disappointed with the par. And Villas, he's putting together a solid round 4 down right now. Moving into the final hole of the front 9, the closest hole to the finish, as this did used to be a 9-hole course. This is kind of one of those throw towards the area and then hope you get through it holes. Get about 190 feet down the fairway and then hope you get past some trees.
MJ going Comet.
And that's the tree that you hope you get past. He hit this V tree right in the middle. And left or right of that, he was going to be pretty good.
Yeah, this one was averaging a 3.09. A lot of people hitting early and scrambling up and taking bogeys. Villa going lower shot.
Yeah, he was trying to get to the right of that tree in the middle and went a little bit too far right.
Matt also going with the backhand. Ooh.
And this is wide enough to miss that tree,
Yes!
And he slides on up there. Great shot from Matt. I do believe that the right-handed backhand is the best play to have a flat angle to get through the gap that you do have. Mm-hmm. If you throw it exactly how you want to, you can hit that gap and it'll flatten out and float on up there.
Yeah, it looks like Fish has pulled out an Undertaker. And he keeps drying his disc off. It looks like he is having potentially a grip issue here. Ooh, that looks good, though.
This is that inside line.
Come on.
Yeah.
Great comeback from Fish. Really tough stretch on the last hole. Beautiful tee shot. And you know what's interesting? I played with Alex Russell here in 2018, and he aced this hole with a forehand. It was one of the wildest aces that I've seen in tournament.
Did it skip in?
It was a skip ace.
Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous. So to see these backhands get so close, it's almost like I was biased from seeing the ace.
Yeah, I'm throwing a skip shot as well, but with something that's not fast enough to skip in. Oh, and that was a little bit high, but it's not one that you should see come back out of the basket.
That was a bouncy spit out. That was kind of weird.
Yeah, that and it's hard to get a birdie look on this hole, so that's going to feel pretty rough for Matt there.
Yeah, something interesting about this basket is, a lot of baskets are not using this method. All the chains, inner and outer, are sharing the same inner ring.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know.
It seemed like there wasn't a whole lot of tension up top.
I see.
Where when his putter hit, the chains didn't really slow it down much.
There you have it, folks. We got Michael Johansen on a heater. Chris Villa is quietly following behind him, a clean front 9, 4 under par, MJ at 6 under par. Everyone has potential to shoot a solid number right now.
Matty 0 through 9, 7 down. Just in front of MJ. Got a couple other players shooting hot 6s down through the front 9.
So we will catch you on the back 9. Make sure to subscribe to Gatekeeper Media on YouTube, and we will see you next time.
We'll see you guys out there.